Hello, I'm going to tell you a little story about Little Bee. Little Bee was busy, but Little Bee had a look around. You see, she was a very curious bee. The bees were always busy. Some of the bees collected wax from the flowers to make honeycomb. Some of them collected pollen and made honey. But Little Bee wondered what was beyond the flower meadow. So one day, she decided to go for a fly. She flew over the meadow, over Farmer Dave's wood barns, and there she met some very fine-looking horses. These horses were stabled over the winter and had a great big paddock. No wildflowers for Little Bee, lots of lush grass for the horses to eat. "Don't fly too far, Little Bee," said the horses. But Little Bee did not listen. She flew past the horse meadow, and there she saw the silly woolly things. We call them sheep. Now Little Bee loved watching them, and she spent a very long time watching the little woolly things. Little lambs. They jumped and they skipped and they stood on top of their mums and dads, and they didn't have a care in the world. Little Bee thought, what a joyful life that must be. Not to be working, but to play and skip and be silly. And she thought, what's beyond the woolly things? Just then a big ram stood up and went, "Meh! Don't fly so far, Little Bee." But Little Bee did not listen. She flew beyond the woolly things, and there she saw some large creatures that went moo. She flew in and out of their great legs with their dangly udders. They were chewing on the grass. Apparently they produced milk. "Don't fly so far, Little Bee," said Ermintrude, the chief udder producer. But Little Bee did not listen. So she'd flown through the flower meadow, over Farmer Dave's barns, past the horses, over the woolly things, and past the cows. And now she was in a very, very different place. There was a wood, and there was a lot of noise. Things zipping up and down on a hard grey thing. Just then, another bee appeared next to her. She didn't know this bee. It was bigger. "Buzz. Hello, Little Bee. Are you lost?" I'm not sure. What are those?" "They are cars, Little Bee. You have flown far, far away from your hive." "Who are you, and why don't I know you? You don't live on our meadow." "No, I'm a wood bee. I live in the woods here." "Now come on, Little Bee. You've flown too far. Let me help you take you home." So the wood bee let Little Bee rest on his back, and he flew her back. Past the big cows. "Good night," mooed Ermintrude. Past the little lambs, who were already tucked up and bleating in their mother's soft fur. Past the horses, who were already bedding down in the big barn. And back to the meadow. "I must leave you here," said the bee. So Little Honeybee was left in the meadow, and she saw her hive. She was very, very happy. All the bees had gone to bed, and she snuck in, quiet as she could, and she crawled into the honeycomb and curled up, hoping that nobody would know she'd had a very big adventure for a very little bee. Good night, everybody. Sleep well.